All right, guys, welcome back into another NFL DFS video. Got the Week 12 core plays here for you, but first I want to do two quick current call things. If you guys just want to get straight into the core plays, I'll have that time stamped in the comment section below. But first things first, I just want to say it is Thanksgiving here, whether you're watching it the day before, day of, or a couple days after. I just want to say thank you to you guys. Thank you for your support, whether it was before quarantine, during quarantine, or after quarantine. Just really appreciate you guys. Been able to do a lot more content and whatnot with your guys' support, been able to keep producing better and quality content each and every week. Been able to reinvest in 9 to 5, make improvements each and every week. And I just really appreciate that, because without you guys, that wouldn't be possible. Without your guys' support, I wouldn't be able to do that. One of the things I was able to do recently this week was able to get a 9 to 5 NFL DFS cheat sheet going on the 9 to 5 page. That's just another one of those improvements that I've been able to make because of you guys. So I really do appreciate that. That kind of is the second current call note that I wanted to bring up. Do have a cheat sheet available on 9 to 5 Sports for all the positions, RB, receiver, running back, and tight end as well. So that is going to be something I'll be bringing up on these videos a lot more frequently, and something that you guys can use as a data resource as well. Once again, that is going to be a part of the 9 to 5 membership for $10 a month. So once again, just want to say thank you for your guys' support, because without that, I won't be able to make these improvements and be able to make all these quality adjustments that I've been able to make kind of throughout the last few months. So I really do appreciate that. But let's get into the core plays for this week, guys. All right, so we'll start off on the quarterbacks here like we always do. So I do really like the idea of paying up for one of the top end quarterbacks. I'm perfectly fine with that. Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, they're both in great spots. They're both projected to get right around 30 DK points. That is what I like to see. But the one play that was really standing out to me was quarterback Derek Carr. Got a really good matchup here. So the matchup rating here that you see, the plus minus, this is going to be the average that quarterbacks have against that specific opponent. So against the Atlanta Falcons, opposing quarterbacks are averaging 8.5 more DK points per game to their season average. So Derek Carr had already been a very consistent quarterback as is, and he's just a guy that you factor in the consistency with him. You factor in the fact that this should be a higher scoring game. And just the matchup. I mean, they're just giving up the most points to opposing quarterbacks just at this price point. Given his consistency, he just makes a ton of sense for cash. He makes a ton of sense for those of you that are trying to find some deep end value there at the quarterback spot. That is just a play that makes a ton of sense to me. So with Derek Carr, I'm perfectly fine with you guys going with him this week. And then just looking at another quarterback play that I'm okay with, not overly ecstatic about it, is Cam Newton. He's been very consistent other than really one game against the San Francisco 49ers, which was a tougher matchup. But this week he gets the Arizona Cardinals, who, not that bad of a matchup at all. It's just a game where, Cam Newton should be able to get around 20 DK points. But I would much rather just pay up for one of these other quarterbacks like Justin Herbert. If I could do that, I'd much rather do that, which kind of feels weird to say. I'd much rather play it for Justin Herbert, but it's true. That's just the slate that we have. So we'll move on into the running backs here. So just looking at the running back slate, yes, if you guys can afford to pay up for Dalvin Cook, you definitely should go out and do that. He grades out as a fantastic play. He's grading out as someone that should score 30 DK points. Christian McCaffrey looks like he's still going to be out, so don't have to worry about him. Let's go down to this section here. So Salvon Ahmed there, I'm still butchering his name, but he grades out as a great play there, guys. So Ahmed there, he's in a great spot. So the RB1 for the Miami Dolphins, whoever was the starting running back for them, has been a top 10 running back so far this season, which, yes, the season that isn't actually that impressive, I guess, just because running back has kind of been really hit or miss, but it's been really spectacular there for the Miami Dolphins. And if you look at it, each and every starter has been over 10 DK points for that starter that week. So there's a lot of consistency there in the RB1 for the Miami Dolphins. I will say, or I do have to say, he is questionable right now. He did miss practice as of recording this. I'm recording this on Wednesday, but I think he'll play. We'll have to wait and see. Also, Myles Gaskin could come back this week, although I'm not really sure if he will. But let's just keep all things equal. I think if He's going to be the starter, and Gaston's not back. We just have to put him into our builds. He'll definitely be a core play then. He's really looked good on film as well. Really explosive, really popping on film. Each week he has gotten better as well, which is what you want to see. He's going against the New York Jets, who have given up 2.3 points per game to opposing running backs, plus to their average. So you look at his season average right now, it's right around 10 DK points. You can project him to score right around 13 to 14 DK points. I'm perfectly comfortable with that, especially at this price point for a med there. And then just another running back that I actually do like. It's going to be Wayne Gallman. Now, sure, on paper, not the best play, but you just look at what he's been able to do since he's started for both Devonta Freeman and Saquon Barkley. He's been super consistent, guys, scoring over 10 DK points in each and every week so far. He gets a matchup with the Cincinnati Bengals, who's a middle of the road there. Not going to hurt you, not going to help you too much. It's a middle of the road matchup. So just look at what he's been able to do the last 10 weeks or last 4 weeks, or averaging over 10 DK points in all of them. That is very appealing for me at this price point with Wayne Gallman. I'm perfectly fine with you guys going a med there and Gallman for your running back plays this week. Then we'll move on into the receivers. So moving on to the receivers, there are a couple of plays here that are kind of standout plays. Our boy Keenan Allen, yes, I still love Keenan Allen this week, the cover boy this week. If you guys can afford to pay up for him, I do think that you should do it. He's been very consistent. Obviously, I've touched on this each and every week so far. He's been seeing over 10 targets per game since Justin Herbert's been the starter and since Keenan Allen's started and finished the game. Just super consistent. If you guys can afford to pay up for him, you should do it. The matchup isn't the best necessarily, so his actually projection gets knocked down a little bit, but he's still going to be a good play there for you guys this week. And really the only players on the top end that really get a significant like bump up are the two for the Carolina Panthers. Take that for what it's worth. I feel comfortable kind of paying up for any of these guys up here. But you can kind of go a fair and balanced approach this week. Robert Woods is kind of priced down, which was surprising to me. Sure, it's not the best matchup as well, but I feel confident with him as a play. Then we can go down to kind of this lower tier range where Sterling Shepard's right here. I really like him as a play. Sterling Shepard has been super consistent as a play, and I'll touch on that in just a second because we got Curtis Samuel here as well. 3 out of the last 4 weeks, he's put up 20 or more fantasy points per game. The targets continue to be there for him. He's seen over 7 targets per game over the last 5 weeks. You look at that matchup, it's a plus matchup. So he's getting around 6 points to his average, projecting him to score right around 19 DK points. Now, I think that is going to be a little bit juiced up, but you look at his DK points per dollar, almost at 4. I absolutely love that. He's going to be a solid play for you guys this week. Then I will say, I do think it's going to be either Darius Slayton or Sterling Shepard. I'm going to talk about Sterling Shepard in this one. So yeah, Sterling Shepard's going to be my next core play, mostly because the guy has been super consistent. Guys, for over the last essentially 3 years now, each and every game, he's seen 6 or more targets in every game, averaging 8 targets per game. It's been absolutely insane. He is just that good, I guess, where they just keep forcing him the ball because he's open. Now, it's whether or not Daniel Jones can get him the ball, but in this matchup against the Bengals, who haven't been, that good of a defense, is very appealing to me. I think he's going to be a safe play in cash for you guys, and I think he's going to be an upside play in GPPs as well. He's pretty much locked into getting you 15 DK points. The question or not is whether that's enough for you. For me, for my purposes, for cash purposes, that is enough for me. That is enough for me to put him into cash. Then we'll move on into the tight ends here. We'll get into the next core play, which is actually going to be Tyler Eifert. So Tyler Eifert I actually like as a play a decent amount. We saw him 3 weeks ago against the Houston Texans, put up 8.8 DK points. That was his first game back from injury. Now the last 2 weeks he's had tougher matchups, but he still saw 4 and 5 targets the last 2 weeks. Didn't really do much DK wise, but he's priced at 2.6. He's almost priced at the minimum, guys. And in a plus matchup going against the Cleveland Browns, who are essentially the worst defense against tight ends, this is very appealing to me for a guy that should have a safe floor and he's not really stressing you that much with your lineup. He makes for an excellent play this week. So I think that if you guys can, you should try to pay up for Tyler Eifert this week. Then we'll just move on to the defenses here. So Miami Dolphins are in a good spot going against the New York Jets. Yeah, sure, if you guys can afford to pay up for them, you should. The Rams against Nick Mullins. that's a fine play as well. I'm perfectly good with that. But for me, for now, there's a bunch of quality plays down here at this low price point. You could go with the Cincinnati Bengals going against the New York Giants. They have been somewhat better recently. Daniel Jones has struggled a little bit, but I'd actually rather go the other way around and go with the Giants here. Price at 3.2. I'd much rather go with that approach. Cincinnati Bengals are going to struggle with, Brandon Allen, I do think is a little bit better than Ryan Finley, and that's why Brandon Allen is getting the start over Ryan Finley. I was actually almost locking in Giants D when I heard it was going to be Ryan Finley, but I could easily see the Giants going for 10 DK points in this matchup. I do like that a lot. And you got the Cleveland Browns going against the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Cleveland Browns have actually been a pretty solid defense this whole year. A lot of that's due to favorable weather matchups for the defense. Some bad weather games have led to them being a better defense than they probably are, but they're going against the Jacksonville Jaguars who, they're struggling right now offensively. James Robinson looks good. DJ Chark looks good. Jake Luton was okay, but they're turning to Mike Lennon. So the Cleveland Browns should be able to get a few sacks there. All right, though, that's all I have for you guys this week. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving, or I hope you do have a good Thanksgiving, depending on when you're watching this video. If you guys want to join 9 to 5 Nation, the link is in the description below. It's going to be $10 a month. I already touched on this a little bit. You guys get a lot of great value there. That's pretty much my goal with my DFS memberships. It's provide the best value without sacrificing any quality. So definitely check that out. If you don't, just give me a like, subscribe. I do appreciate that. And as always, guys, let's keep cashing. All right, we're out.